Hello, you guys. I am excited to be here with you this coming Monday. I hope you guys had a fantastic weekend. I know, our family, we kind of had a relaxing weekend. So I would love to hear a little bit about your weekend, what you guys did. We just had the Super Bowl over the weekend. So that's been something that's been super fun and exciting. I don't know if I have any football buffs out there, but that was definitely the talk of everything social media yesterday. And I will tell you, like, honestly, there were some really cool marketing tools there. If you guys paid attention to those commercials, that Tubi commercial was pretty crazy. I don't know how many people truly like yelled at their spouse, significant other, their children, their dog to figure out who sat on the remote, why it was changing, what happened. Definitely caught everybody's attention, right? It caught mine, at least, that's for sure. So you guys, it was a great call. Hello, I see you on there. Hi guys. So you guys, today's a really cool topic. So today we're talking about are you distracted? And in this group, well, first off, you guys, let me introduce myself. If you're new to our group here, my name is Katie Ganderton, also known as Tenacious Kate. If you are not in our Facebook group, you want to make sure that you're in there. Some of you guys might be new, but you want to make sure that you're in that Facebook group, because this is where we stream everything live. This is where the groups are going to be going live. It's our community of people. It is fantastic. And it's fun, and we've got a lot of resources in there. So if you are new to this group, head on over to Facebook, join us. It's Tenacious Kate, Wealth, Empowerment, Mindset, and Strategy. And a little bit about what we're doing here is with Tenacious Kate, you guys, it's all about bringing that tenacity. I am a top leader in the industry of direct sales. It's where my expertise is. And one of the things that I really have grown to love is watching middle to upper level leaders really push past that next level, because it's not easy and it takes a lot more than just the mindset to get you there. You've got to have that strategy in place. And so we are shifting some of the things here at Tenacious Kate to really cater to that middle to upper level leader. Believe me, we are not forgetting about the person that's just starting their business. We're still going to talk on some of that, but with what we have coming up here I want to say it's February 27th. You don't want to miss this. We are going to be doing a one-time event. It's going to happen in the group, and it's a one-time event because we are bringing to you guys a program that I am putting together that is for one-on-one coaching as well as group coaching, but it's really for fast track formulas for the fearless leader. And that is really what I love to do, and what I use, the strategies I was able to use and to dig into that helped me propel my business to the top level in my company. And it's something that I've never seen taught before. I love it. And it's something that you have to be willing to do the work. You really got to want to push past that level, which means you're going to have to bring the grit. You're going to have to bring the tenacity if you really want to take that next level in your business. We're also going to have a group coaching opportunity as well, because this is going to be a limited access. That's going to be application only, as with a strategy call to even make sure that you are qualified and a fit for that program, because I only have a very limited amount of spots that I'm accepting to coach, because I also currently run a direct sales company still. So it is something that I want to make sure that I can still lead by example, but also pour into people that are willing and wanting to learn that knowledge as well. Okay, so you guys, today we're going to talk about are you distracted, right? And people can be like, well, what does that mean? I'm talking about are you a leader that's distracted? Because being distracted in general life is one thing, but if you are a mid to upper level leader in your business, are you distracted? So you guys might be going, God, I don't even know. What does that even look like? Well, I have 7 ways that I'm going to share with you that we see that leaders are distracted. Okay. They can be distracted by a variety of factors, right? So one of them happens to be incomplete information. So leaders may be given incomplete or conflicting information. Okay. And this leads them to lose focus or make incorrect decisions. And how many of you guys have done that, where you get a piece of the puzzle and you're just like, wait, what? And then over here, you're like, wait, but this is said over here, and this doesn't make sense. And so it's conflicting, or you've got somebody like a policy over here, but then you've got this policy over here. Maybe the policies don't add up and it's conflicting, and what it does is it causes confusion with how you communicate with your team, how you relay the information, how then you have to go find that information, right? So incomplete information is a really great distraction for a leader. So another one, and we'll talk a little bit on how we can overcome some of these. Let me get through these first 7 really quick, and then we'll go through some of the ways to overcome them. So number 2 is interruptions. Oh my gosh, how many interruptions do you get a day? And by this, I mean easily distracted by phone calls, emails, and other distractions. Okay. I wouldn't even say this is a general leadership one. However, I will say as you do, start to climb in leadership, people want to connect with you more and more and more, and they'll just message you. And sometimes you have that expectation or thought that you're going to instantly respond, right? Because maybe that's what you've been conditioned to think, and there's no boundaries that you've set up around yourself yet. So interruptions is a big one. Number 3 is multitasking. Leaders may try to do too many things at once. Okay. I've been guilty of that myself. This can definitely lead to lack of focus and decreased productivity. And I just heard from one of my coaches that it can take up to 25 minutes for somebody to get resettled and refocused and back on task once they have taken their attention away. Tell me how many times have you guys sat there and been like, gosh, I swear I've been busy all day long. I've been doing all my things. I've been doing all the stuff. And then by the end of the day, you're like, I swear I felt busy all day, but what do I have to show for it? Right? Okay. How many of you guys get up and it's like, oh, laundry. I got to put some laundry in really fast. And then you come back to your desk and it's like, where was I? Hold on a second. Let me get back to my notes. Where was I? Okay, hold on. Try to refocus, and it takes you a moment to get back to refocus. Okay, so multitasking, I know we like to say that women are like the best multitaskers, but honestly, nobody can really multitask very, very well. To get something done efficiently, you really want to time block and be specific with that time. Okay, number 4, personal problems. Personal problems such as health issues or family problems can also distract leaders and take away from their ability to focus on work. Okay, now hear me out on this one, you guys, because I know that this can be a really tough one, right? Because we love our family and all of that kind of stuff, but it also can be a huge distraction. Okay, so either we're not setting a boundary around it, or we let that become our excuse to not showing up for why we've started a business or have gone into business for ourselves, right? Other thing too is if we're not taking care of our own health, that can lead to a lot of things, right? If we are leaving things unattended to, it can compound over time, and it builds up to where it can actually become a much more disastrous, long-term affecting problem overall, which then also requires a much larger time away from, what you're trying to achieve. So making sure that we are addressing, health issues, family problems, making sure that there's boundaries up around what you're trying to do. Okay. Number 5 is burnout. Okay. Burnout is a real thing. Okay. I know I've been there myself. I'm sure many leaders have gotten there at some point in their career and realized it, right? But then it's like, oh, okay, I don't want to do that again. So there's a shift, right? So if a leader's feeling overworked or stressed, they may struggle to focus and be less effective in their leadership role. Okay, so burnout can definitely be detrimental to a business. It can be detrimental to the way you lead, the way you show up, the way that you coach, the way that you are teaching, the way that your family's seeing you, all the way that you're choosing to learn. You can kind of become like a recluse, or you start to kind of go inward, which it's good to go in and notice things, but it's not, you have to come back out. It's not good to go and kind of hide away from things as if it's going to disappear. Okay. So burnout, you want to make sure, and I'll talk on this a little bit more here in just a minute, but that we've got some things in place to help prevent that burnout. Okay. Number 6, I like this one, shiny object syndrome, right? Leaders may easily be sidetracked by new ideas or opportunities rather than staying focused on their goals and priorities. oh my gosh, shiny object syndrome all over the place. Okay. And you guys, I can see this happening with leaders that are mid to upper level leaders. Like I've seen them walk away from something because there's something new that's coming up. It maybe it's not even established yet. It doesn't have credibility yet, but they're just like, oh, new. I think I could do better over here and run and jump. Right. Instead of staying focused and staying put and being consistent with what they're doing. I'll be the first to tell you that if you go to somewhere new with the same habits, you're not going to get a different result. Okay. That's the definition of insanity. So you've got to really make sure if you're going for something new, that you have really used your habits, and done all the things correctly, and you've given time where you currently are before you jump ship and you go somewhere else. Or the other thing too that I want to shiny object syndrome I see here is when someone's coming into a business, and being that everything we're talking about now typically is on social media, your social selling on Instagram, on Facebook, on Pinterest, on TikTok, I'm probably missing one of them, right? But you come into a business and you think you've got to go, oh, I got to go here. I got to go here. I got to here. I have to here. I need to know all of the things, right? Instead of saying, no, I'm going to master one thing that I know I'm good at, get good at that there, and then branch out. Because if you spread yourself too thin, too fast, you are going to, first off, have shiny object syndrome, because you're going to think, I need to do all the things that all these other people are doing. And then you end up confusing yourself and you're not doing anything well because you're trying to do all of the things at once. And then you end up in burnout because you're exhausted, your wheels are spinning, you don't have a strategy, you don't have systems in place. Not only that, it's not duplicatable. Okay, so that is the shiny object syndrome. Number 7, and finally, is politics. Internal political issues within an organization can also distract leaders and take away from their ability to focus on more important tasks. So much stuff gets political. Okay. It's about fairness. It's about, well, this policy, that policy, well, she did this, he did that. Why not this? How come this? Or I don't like this, so I'm going to continue to complain because I feel like that's going to make a difference. There's so many things that we don't have control over sometimes. You are a voice and you have someone that you could probably turn to have that might have a bigger voice. But at the end of the day, to sit and waste time on something that's you don't necessarily have control over in the immediate, is that serving you? Is it serving your community? Is it serving your customers? Is it serving your mindset? Is it serving your family? Absolutely not. And I got this really cool thing here. I got it off Amazon. It has this little stand right here, but it's this little thing. And I loved it because it's just a really friendly reminder of things that you can control and things that you cannot control. And you cannot control other people's actions. You cannot control what other people think. You cannot control the pandemic and the past and the future. Okay. You cannot control other people's feelings, the weather, people's mistakes, and how others behave. So remember, when we go and we want to sit and complain about all these things, unless there's a validity to it or, any validity to what that is, with information and data and all that stuff, sending one message is fine, but then it's a matter of getting your mind right, because that is another thing, is what you continue to think is what you continue to draw to you, whether it's good or bad. Okay. So making sure that if you really feel like you need to get this off your chest, you really want to think about what this thought is. Okay. How do I feel about this? And is this something what's the reaction that's going to come out of this? Because that is what we can control. We can't control our reaction to it. And we can also sit and think like, does this really make sense for me to be this upset about? Or have I done everything that I can do about it? Did I send an email? Great. If I send an email, that's all you can do, right? Or have I contacted the person that I have an issue with? No. Okay. Well, maybe you could contact the person you have an issue with and then go from there. But if you just continue to live in this worry and the what if and the poor me and the, this is not right kind of mentality, that is not serving anything good to come into your future. So you've got to make sure that you focus on the things that are more important and that can bring good into your life and good into your business. Okay. So it's important for leaders to be aware of these potential distractions and take steps to minimize them in order to remain focused and effective in their role. Okay. So let's talk really quick. Do you guys have any questions on here at all? Let me see if you guys have any questions at all. I don't see anything popping in. Okay, if you guys have any questions, pop them in the chat because I'd love to talk about some scenarios if you happen to have some. But I want to go through just a few tips on how to overcome some of these things as a leader in your business, or maybe you're brand new in your business and you're like, oh, I haven't even faced any of that. What are you talking about? Right? When these things do arise, because they will, I want you to be able to hi, Moose. This is Mr. Moose. If you haven't met my puppies, this is our English Mastiff guy. He's 180 pounds of solid love to his family, not to new people in the house, but hi, bud. But I'd love to chat with you on some of these because it will arise. It's going to happen. And as a leader, when you experience these things, your wisdom becomes somebody else's tidbits because they're going to learn from you as a leader. So you're going to want to know how to overcome and go through some of these things. So let's talk on how to overcome a couple of these things. And if you have a scenario you guys want to chat about, drop it in the chat and I'll bring it up here and then we'll end the call because I don't want this to be too long. But, interruptions, you guys, interruptions. Let's chat really fast. If we're talking about a phone, you see this little, like if you had... I learned this when I got my iPhone, but this little button here on the side is like half red. That means I'm not going to get any notifications if that is showing red. Okay. So if you're at a point where you're like, oh man, I need to have no interrupted time to crank out some work, drop this on and put this on where it's not going to notify you. You can also change these little guys here on your phone where it says, do not disturb, sleep, family, work, whatever. You can add other things in there and you can put time frames on here so that it only certain people are allowed to get through to notify you. If you have kids in school, if you have got a husband or something like that, and they need to get through for emergency purposes, like you can put those in there that they have the exception to, break through whatever barrier that you put up here, this, not barrier, this boundary that you've set for that time frame that only a certain group of people are allowed to communicate through that. Okay. So you can set that up there. Other thing that you can also do is you can set up your time blocks, right? So on your calendar, I'm in the process of doing a whole lot of stuff with mine right now, but you can set up all the time blocks, right? And so all of these different blocks mean something, but I get really specific on how you have your days set up. I'm in the process right now of shifting mine to where I have all of my meetings on Mondays. And then Tuesdays, I'm going to be doing different tasks. I might have a couple more meetings, but I'm really going to be doing content and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm focusing on those kinds of things and then lighten my load up as it comes to the end of the week, unless I want to add something else in there, but really getting good at structuring my calendar. So when we talk about the multitasking right here, the next one was multitasking. Remember where we bounce around the house all the time. If you're working from home, it's not an easy task. I will tell you, from going from a professional career and leaving the home to work to becoming a stay-at-home work mom, it took me about a year to adjust because I wasn't used to having all this time on my hands and I really didn't know how to structure it properly. And I can tell you, a day can completely run by where you've done like nothing and you're going, man, how did that even happen? Right. And it happens because I didn't have blocks in place. I didn't have structure to my day. So setting that structure to my day was really important. And I mean, one of the things that I am so guilty of with ADHD is getting up and being like, I'm going to throw some laundry in. And then I end up washing the same load of laundry like 5 times because I forget to put it in the dryer. Or, oh, I'm going to load the dishes. Or, oh, I'm going to go wipe down the counters. Or, oh, just finding random things to start. And then coming back and I'm like, wait, where was I? What was I focused on? What was I doing? Hold on. I've got to get all this stuff done. And now it's like, no, I know on this day, I'm going to be doing my meetings on these days. This is what I have in place. This is what I've got set up. Boom, boom, boom. I've got it done. And that morning when I wake up or the night before, I can say, okay, this is what I've got happening for content on Tuesday. I need to make this reel for this. I want to make this reel for this. I want to crank out, 4 reels in a half an hour, get that done. I want to get some of my notes done for my direct selling team. I want to get this done and this done. So being specific and knowing what I'm going to do in each of those tasks is really going to help with getting out of that multitasking mode and keep you on task. And, it's okay if you get off task. It does happen, but being able to be like, what am I supposed to be doing right now? Like if you start spinning and you're like, oh, I don't know what to do. What am I supposed to be doing right now? It should be in your calendar. You want to get the stuff on your calendar, every single thing. And I've actually started putting in drive times as well, because I know I will plan out all the things and I will be like, oh, I've got 5 minutes to fit this in. I've got 5 minutes to fit this in. So I've started planning out even the drive time to be respectful of my calendar and that I'm not overdoing it to myself and not making myself get burnt out and feeling like I'm burning the candle at both ends. Okay. Because this is not something that is enjoyable. It's exhausting. It's stressful. It creates anxiety. And not only that, you feel like you're constantly living in procrastination because you constantly feel like you're behind the 8 ball. And so that's the real thing with burnout is getting your calendar right. Setting up those boundaries is really, really important so that you don't feel overworked. Okay. So that's something. Can you take something off? Can you delegate something? Delegation is a really hard tool, especially when we talk with people about, money. It takes money to delegate sometimes, right? Yes. But there are so many affordable resources. One of the tools that I really love, and I can get you the link to check it out, is a virtually organized like a group of people that come in and they actually can get all of this stuff done, but they've already been taught, they've been trained, they've gone through testing, all of that kind of stuff. And it's a fraction of the cost, which is phenomenal. And that's something that if you hate doing something, it's going to take you longer to do it because you don't like it. First of all, it's going to take you, it's going to take your energy because you don't want to be doing it. Second of all, and third of all, you're going to procrastinate it because you don't want to do it. So it's going to be one of those last things to get done. And then it may even not get done. Okay. So if that's something that you just don't like doing, for me, that happened to be like doing all of my follow-up, right? I would let that fall by the wayside and it was awful. So I ended up delegating that. And so now it's like, okay, great. Now this is amazing. I don't have to worry about that follow-up piece. Or I've also, when people come in and join me in my team, right? I have got my text messaging set up that's automated to help them along in their business. And we've set up a system that they have access to that teaches and trains them for their first 60 to 90 days, which is fantastic. And I'm there as a resource, but we've been able to automate that system for their success. And that's something that, again, helps prevent that burnout and it takes that load off of my plate. Okay. The shiny object syndrome, that is just something, again, it comes with focusing. I really think visualization, I think affirmations, I think some guided meditation is great to do multiple times a day. You feel better, you can stay focused. And again, you're keeping your mind in the right place and you can pull yourself back. But if you can start noticing yourself throughout the day, that's going to be really key. If you notice, man, I'm in the kitchen, I should be in my office. Notice where you are. Notice what you're noticing and why am I getting distracted? Is it something I don't like doing? Is this something that I'm not, that I am putting off? Is this something that I don't feel like I have all the information? Figure out what it is that's preventing you from staying where you are. And then you can start to tackle okay, if I know I don't like this, maybe this is something I can delegate out, or maybe I really just need to put more time aside for this because it's going to take me more than 30 minutes and I'm stressing myself out by giving myself only 30 minutes, right? Notice that stuff and acknowledge it. Okay. And then the politics, again, like I said, you can only do so much. Focus on the business. And if this is something that's not going to move you forward in your business, right? And in that you've done what you can, that's all you can do. And just acknowledge that piece and that you've done what you can, and then just move forward past it and try to continue to remember, treat your business like a business. And just you continue to show up and be that example that you need to be. And it's going to continue to move in the direction. Again, the politics will be there. I feel like they're in everything today, especially, but it's one of those things that it can ruin your business. And so if you can if you love what you do and you're passionate about what you do, is that going to be something that if you have no control over it, are you going to let it ruin what you've built? And so that's something that you really want to focus on and just say, you know what, I have more important things to do. And this is not making or breaking my paycheck. I've said my piece, I'm moving forward. Then that's a great way to continue to be able to stay focused in the right way. So, all right, you guys, I'm going to see if you guys had any comments. Happens to be at work and home. Yes, you guys, I can definitely say working from home is no joke. I actually know a gal that she was in direct sales. She was very successful, but she ended up having to go back to work because of the amount of free time she had. She couldn't figure out the structure balance with the amount of open time. And it takes a good amount of time. It's not an easy task to do. And again, there's so many little side things that you can get caught up in, but structuring that day is really, really going to help against that multitasking. It's going to help with keeping at bay the shiny object syndrome. It's going to keep at bay that burnout, and it's going to keep at bay, the interruptions of what you have for that day. So just really getting really good at those boundaries with your calendar is going to be key. And for me, like I said, I'm setting up my Mondays to be all of my meetings. My Tuesdays is going to be, content and doing some of the other business related things. My Thursdays and Fridays are going to be much lighter. Fridays, ideally, I'd love to maybe do one or two things. Thursday, maybe a little bit heavier, but those are the days that I'm also going to book my other appointments that I like, such as hair, such as nails, such as massages. Those kinds of things is where I want to fit those in. So I know when I go to make those appointments, I need to look on those days because those are the days that I want to have those appointments on because I want to be out of my office at home. Okay. So with that, you guys, this was a little bit longer than I anticipated, but I feel like it's super important to discuss how leaders get distracted and how we can overcome some of those objections. So with that, you guys, make sure that you that you comment, that you share, tag a friend in this. Make sure you're in our Tenacious Kate Facebook group as well. Mark down February 27th as well for that fast track formulas for the Fearless Leader. That is what we are bringing to this group here and launching for coaching coming up really soon. And I'm so excited for it, you guys. I'm so excited to get to work with just a handful of people one-on-one. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. And I would love for you guys to come back and share one thing that you took from one of the 7 tips that I talked about. I would love for you to share one thing that you did this week to delegate, to fix, to eliminate, to help conquer one of those distractions that was plaguing you. So, all right, you guys, take care. Have a good day, and I'll see you next week.